Welcome, jewels of inestimable value. The greatest mistake you can make is thinking you can break a woman who has already rebuilt herself from the ashes. There are few people more formidable than a Sigma female, unseen, unfazed, and unshakable. You might be tempted to hurt her, to take her down a notch, thinking you found her vulnerabilities. But let this be your first warning. Every move you make against her will backfire, and it won't be in the way you expect. She doesn't react with rage or desperation. No, her strength lies in something far more terrifying. She absorbs every wound and silently uses it to become stronger. By the time you realize what you've done, you'll be standing on the ruins of your own failed attempts, while she continues to rise, untouchable and completely beyond your reach. Number 1. She transforms pain into the art of success. When you try to hurt a Sigma female, you're not just throwing obstacles in her path, you're handing her the raw material for her next triumph. Pain doesn't break her, it fuels her. She doesn't just survive, she thrives in a way that leaves people bewildered. While most would crumble under the weight of betrayal or heartbreak, she takes it, molds it, and turns it into something powerful. What you meant as her downfall becomes the exact thing that pushes her higher. Her success isn't accidental. It's crafted, earned, and most importantly, built from everything you threw at her. The Sigma female is an alchemist of her own life, capable of turning suffering into strength, failure into wisdom, and your attempts to bring her down into a ladder she uses to climb even higher. It's almost unfair how well she turns pain into progress, leaving you wondering if you did her a favor without even meaning to. Here's the truth. You can't win by hurting her, because every hit you land makes her stronger. It's not revenge that drives her. She's beyond that. Instead, she channels everything into her growth, turning your attempts to tear her down into the fuel for her success. The more you try to break her, the more you only remind her of how unbreakable she really is. And when she's standing on top of everything she's built, using the pieces you left behind, all you're left with is the bitter realization that you didn't stop her. You sped her up. In the end, you've done nothing but make her stronger, more successful, and more invincible than before, leaving you in her shadow, watching her rise.
Number 2, her intuition will outsmart you. The Sigma female's intuition is a force you'll never see coming. She has a natural ability to read people, dissect situations, and understand motives long before you even figure out what you're doing. It's not something she flaunts. It's something she simply is. While you're busy thinking you're clever, pulling strings, or laying out your plans, she's already pieced everything together in her mind, anticipating your every move before you make it. What makes her intuition so powerful is how subtle it is. She doesn't need to confront you or call you out. She's already seen through whatever game you're playing, and here's where it really gets tricky. She lets you think you have the upper hand. You'll never realize she's onto you until it's too late. It's like trying to bluff someone who's already memorized every card in the deck. She doesn't play into your schemes because she's not playing the same game at all. Her ability to understand people goes beyond just spotting lies or manipulation. It's a deeper sense, an awareness that picks up on things others miss entirely. She knows what you're going to say before you say it, how you'll act before you even decide to. And yet she stays quiet, watching you move while she calculates the best way forward, ensuring she always stays 10 steps ahead. The beauty of it all. She never uses this insight for cheap tricks or manipulation. She could, but she won't. Instead, she uses her understanding of people to navigate life with calm precision, sidestepping traps, avoiding drama, and making choices that ensure she's never caught off guard. In the end, while you're left wondering what went wrong, she's already on to the next chapter, quietly outsmarting everyone who thought they could outplay her.
Number 3, she learns from every betrayal. Ladies, when a Sigma female experiences betrayal, she doesn't fall apart like people might expect. Instead, she turns it into a lesson, one that makes her sharper and wiser every time. Betrayal may sting, but she doesn't waste time crying over it. She processes it, learns from it, and moves on stronger. Every time someone tries to undermine her, they're unknowingly giving her the tools she needs to become even more resilient. What makes her different from others is that she doesn't let betrayal define her. She doesn't spiral into victimhood or hold on to the bitterness. Instead, she steps back, analyzes the situation, and extracts the lesson. What did this teach her about trust, about people's motives, about herself? Each betrayal is just another layer of wisdom added to her foundation. You might think you've thrown her off course, but all you've done is give her a new roadmap to navigate future challenges. She doesn't trust blindly after being betrayed, but she doesn't shut down either. Instead, she becomes more strategic, more discerning about who gets close. She learns not to give her energy to just anyone, and how to protect her peace without closing off entirely. It's a delicate balance that she masters over time, and each betrayal only sharpens her instincts. Here's the thing. You can't break her with disloyalty. In fact, you're only making her more unstoppable. With every betrayal, she's growing a thicker skin, learning who's worth her time and understanding how to navigate the world without losing herself. And when she comes out the other side, not only is she unbroken, she's untouchable in ways you never expected. The very thing meant to hurt her has only strengthened her, and you're left watching her rise, unaffected by the chaos you tried to create. Number 4. She knows your weaknesses but won't use them. A Sigma female sees right through you, and that's what's so unnerving. She knows your weaknesses, even the ones you try to hide. It's not because she's prying or manipulative. She just gets people on a level that's almost unfair. She can sense insecurity, spot overcompensation, and pinpoint the cracks in your facade without breaking a sweat. But here's the twist. Even though she knows exactly where to strike if she wanted to, she won't. That's not her style. She's not interested in exploiting your vulnerabilities because that's just petty, and she's way above that. There's a certain grace to the way she handles power, especially when she could easily use it against you. She understands that real strength isn't in tearing others down. It's in holding your ground without needing to play dirty. The power she has over you isn't in manipulating your weak points. It's in her choice not to. While others might jump at the chance to use your flaws against you, she'll take the high road. But that doesn't mean she's soft. Knowing someone could destroy you and choosing not to, that's a level of restraint that speaks volumes, and trust me, it leaves you feeling even more exposed. Because deep down, you'll always wonder, what if she had chosen to use what she knows? The irony is, her refusal to exploit your weaknesses actually makes you more vulnerable. You start second-guessing everything, realizing that she's always 2 steps ahead but never lowers herself to your level. Her refusal to weaponize your flaws is, in itself, a quiet power move. You're left wondering how someone can see so much and still walk away without ever needing to lift a finger against you. That's how she wins, by not even playing the game. Number 5. Revenge is beneath her. Revenge isn't on a Sigma female's radar, and that's exactly why trying to hurt her is such a colossal miscalculation. When someone does her wrong, she doesn't waste time plotting ways to get even. That's the last thing on her mind. Revenge? Please. That's for people who still care enough to fight back, and she's already moved past you. Her strength lies in her ability to detach from the drama completely. You might expect a backlash, some kind of retaliation. But what you get instead is absolute indifference. And that's where it stings the most. The fact that she won't even bother with revenge tells you everything you need to know. You weren't important enough to warrant that level of energy. By the time you think you've gotten under her skin, she's already shifted her focus to more important things, like her own growth, her goals, and her peace of mind. She's too busy building a life that thrives in spite of everything, and the last thing she needs is to get dragged into some petty battle. Here's the genius of it. By refusing to seek revenge, she strips you of power. There's no satisfaction in seeing her struggle or retaliate because she doesn't give you that. You're left standing there, frustrated, realizing that she's not playing the game you thought you started. Instead of reacting, she lets her silence speak for her. And in that silence, you're forced to face the fact that she's moved on while you're still stuck in the past, looking for a fight that never comes. The ultimate irony? While you're busy trying to figure out how to get back at her, she's already living her best life. In the end, the only person suffering is you, while she keeps winning without even lifting a finger. Number 6. No need for approval, especially yours. Queens, a Sigma female has zero interest in your approval, or anyone else's for that matter. The idea that she needs validation from someone else, especially from you, is laughable at best. Her sense of self-worth doesn't come from how others see her, but from how she sees herself. You could praise her or criticize her, and it would have the same effect: none. She's not built on the shaky foundation of public opinion, and she's certainly not losing sleep over what you think. It's not arrogance, it's self-assurance. She's spent enough time figuring out who she is, what she stands for, and what truly matters to her. When you're that secure in yourself, the need for external validation just evaporates. It's like trying to feed someone who's already eaten. They don't need what you're offering. That's exactly how she feels about approval. Whether you like her, hate her, or are indifferent, it doesn't move her an inch. What's fascinating is how unsettling this is for people who rely on others' opinions to shape their sense of self. They can't wrap their heads around someone who genuinely doesn't care about fitting in or seeking praise. That kind of independence throws people off because most are so accustomed to playing the approval game. But not her. She's playing a completely different game, and it's one where she's the only judge of her own worth. This lack of need for approval is precisely what makes her so powerful. You can't control or manipulate someone who doesn't care what you think. She's immune to flattery and unfazed by criticism. While others are caught up in seeking validation, she's busy living her life on her own terms. And that, right there, is why trying to knock her down is a waste of time. She's untouchable, simply because she never needed your approval to begin with. Number 7. Her silence is louder than words. When a Sigma female goes silent, that's when you should pay attention. Her silence isn't avoidance. It's power in its purest form. She doesn't need to argue, shout, or explain herself to anyone. Instead, she lets her quietness speak for her. And in doing so, it speaks louder than any words ever could. It's not that she doesn't have something to say. It's that she knows saying it is unnecessary. Her silence has a gravity that pulls you in, forcing you to confront the situation without her even lifting a finger. The unsettling part, her silence leaves you alone with your own thoughts. While you expect an emotional reaction, an outburst, or at least a response, what you get is nothing. And that nothing is far more unnerving than any confrontation could ever be. She's not ignoring you out of weakness. She's choosing to disengage because, frankly, you're not worth the energy. And that realization stings far more than any heated argument ever would. Her silence is her way of taking control, of showing you that she doesn't need to justify or defend herself. She's calm, composed, and completely unbothered, which makes you question why you ever expected her to react in the first place. The more you try to provoke her, the quieter she becomes, until you're left grappling with your own frustration while she stays effortlessly detached. What's genius about her silence is that it puts the ball entirely in your court. You're left trying to figure out what she's thinking, what her next move is, but she gives you nothing to work with. And in that space, she holds all the power. She doesn't need to say a word because her silence says everything. You'll be left wondering what just happened while she's already moved on, leaving you in the quiet echo of your own confusion. Number 8. She holds power over herself. A Sigma female's greatest strength is the power she holds over herself. She doesn't seek control over others because she's too busy mastering the only thing that truly matters: her own mind, emotions, and actions. While others get lost in the chaos of external situations, she stays centered. Her sense of power isn't based on titles, money, or status. It's rooted in her ability to stay grounded no matter what's happening around her. This kind of self-mastery is what makes her untouchable. She doesn't get easily rattled or thrown off course by life's ups and downs. Even when things fall apart, she remains steady because she knows that her real power comes from within. She's learned how to handle her emotions, how to step back and assess a situation before reacting. It's not that she doesn't feel things deeply, she does, but she's not ruled by her emotions. Instead, she controls them. What makes her so intimidating is that she doesn't need anyone to give her confidence or validate her choices. She's the kind of person who can walk through a storm without losing her calm, not because she's unaffected, but because she's learned how to navigate her own inner world. She doesn't get caught up in drama or allow anyone to dictate her actions. The power she holds is quiet but undeniable, a steady flame that never goes out. When you try to shake her, you'll quickly realize you're wasting your time. She's already dealt with her own fears and insecurities, so there's nothing left for you to exploit. The external world may change, but her sense of self remains constant. You can't control someone who's already mastered themselves. She owns her choices, her reactions, and ultimately her life. And that's what makes her impossible to break. Number 9. Spiritual resilience. Milady's spiritual resilience is one of the most underrated qualities of a Sigma female, yet it's what truly sets her apart. She possesses an inner strength that transcends mere emotional fortitude. While many people buckle under the pressures of life, heartbreak, betrayal, or loss, she navigates these challenges with an unwavering sense of purpose and calm. Her resilience isn't just about bouncing back. It's about rising stronger, like a phoenix emerging from the ashes. This spiritual resilience comes from a deep understanding of herself and the world around her. She knows that life is filled with highs and lows, and instead of fearing the lows, she embraces them. They are not just obstacles. They are opportunities for growth. When faced with adversity, she doesn't throw a pity party or seek validation from others. Instead, she turns inward, reflecting on what she can learn from the situation. She understands that challenges are simply part of the journey, and each setback only adds to her depth and wisdom. Moreover, her spiritual resilience makes her adaptable. While others might cling to plans or expectations, she flows with the currents of life, trusting that she can handle whatever comes her way. This flexibility allows her to see beyond immediate pain and recognize the bigger picture. It's almost as if she has an invisible shield that protects her spirit, enabling her to emerge from tough times unscathed. What's even more remarkable is that this resilience inspires those around her. People gravitate toward her strength, drawn in by her ability to remain grounded in chaos. When others witness her navigating storms with grace, it becomes a source of hope. The Sigma female doesn't just survive life's challenges, she transforms them, making her not just resilient but a beacon of inspiration for others. In her world, adversity is merely a stepping stone to greater heights, and that's the true essence of her spiritual resilience. Number 10. She's seen worse. A Sigma female has seen worse, and that's what makes her so unfazed by your attempts to hurt her. She's walked through her share of darkness and emerged with scars that tell stories of survival and strength. While you might think you're throwing her off balance with a little betrayal or a harsh word, she's already weathered far bigger storms. Her past experiences are like armor, providing her with the insight and resilience to navigate life's challenges without flinching. She doesn't just bounce back from adversity, she uses it as fuel for her growth. Every setback she's faced has added another layer to her strength, shaping her into the formidable woman she is today. She understands that pain is a teacher, and having learned those lessons, she's not afraid to confront life head-on. When others see obstacles, she sees opportunities. That perspective makes her uniquely equipped to handle anything life throws her way. What's fascinating is how her experiences have cultivated an incredible depth of empathy. While you might be trying to hurt her, she's often more concerned about the pain behind your actions. She recognizes that people who lash out are often hurting themselves, and this understanding allows her to rise above petty conflicts. You might think you can unsettle her, but she's far more focused on her journey than your attempts to bring her down. In the end, her past has shaped her into someone who knows her worth, and she's not easily swayed by the opinions of others or their attempts to undermine her. She has survived worse and knows that this moment is just a blip on the radar of her life's journey. You can't rattle someone who has faced the abyss and come back stronger. For her, every challenge is just another chance to show the world what true resilience looks like. In a world where it's easy to underestimate the strength of a Sigma female, remember that her resilience is forged in the fires of experience. She's not just a survivor, she's a warrior who transforms pain into power, uses intuition as her compass, and builds her empire on lessons learned from every betrayal. Trying to hurt her is not just futile, it's an exercise in futility that will only reflect back on you. She stands strong in her silence, holds her power within, and understands that true strength comes from within. As you navigate your own path, take a page from her book. Embrace your challenges, learn from your experiences, and don't let anyone dictate your worth. When you embody the qualities of a Sigma female, you not only empower yourself, but also inspire those around you to rise above the noise. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the extraordinary strength of Sigma females and want to uncover more insights into powerful personalities and relationships, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Join our Queenly Quest community for more eye-opening discussions, and let's explore together. After all, why settle for ordinary when you can embrace the extraordinary? Subscribe now and let the journey begin. Thanks for watching, Jules. See you in the next video. Bye for now and stay blessed.